time to jump into the luxury imports of Bowling Green Mercedes-Benz BMW Sports Webb with your host, Brian Webb. Also starring Danny the Limb Hartung, MLB Insider, brought to you by First Step Orthotics on the Bypass. WKU Sports Analysis with Garret Browning, presented by Bowling Green Refrigeration, Heating, and Cooling. Also made possible by Poston Electronics. The one and only Vegas Frank Against the Odds, presented by JBK Network Consulting. Then free golf tips with WKU Women's Golf Coach in Gary on the Green. From Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill, your Green Egg headquarters. Spotlighting high school athletics with the Culver's Butterburgers Player of the Week. The Coach's Pick with Damon Tabor with plaques from Oak Tree Awards. And all guests via the Line-X of Bowling Green hotline. And now your host of the Sports Web. Here's Brian Webb.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. Danny the Limb in studio, Garret Browning, and also joined by James Brown from 104 The Score. Going to have a lot of fun. We did that the other night with our U.S. Army, if you heard that. We had a whole bunch of people in here, Danny. It was crazy.
I saw it on your Facebook page. It looked pretty cool.
We're also starting a new thingy tonight, and I'll tease the show here in a minute, but we're going to be doing the Major League Minute.
Yeah.
Danny the Limb Hartung.
We've got a few things going
we'll be
on,
looking
so
at that here shortly.
It's
We're
all
going
right.
to jump into
it
that.
Won't be more than a minute.
That's okay.
There's actually a few things are going on in Major League Baseball, but it's
this is the time of year when there's things happen.
It's free agencies right now, so it's
you're
kind of
seeing
cool.
moves
There's
made.
and there's been some pretty good ones in the last couple of days.
Oh,
so.
I might ask you who the Cubs are eyeing or somebody like that.
Not much action on the Cubs, but a crosstown rivals re-signed Jose Abreu for 3 years at $50 million. So.
And Yasmani Grandal.
Yeah. Big time catcher.
Yeah, they
big time money.
That kind of changes the landscape a little bit too for how early he signed.
You better believe it. And the more and more they're going to do this more and more because the last year's they're waiting. A lot of these Boris and them group are just waiting these guys out and waiting them out. And you know what? Till it's too late. And then these guys are going unsigned, and they're going into the year without a winter before the after the winter meetings and after the spring training, and they're going in rusty. They can say they're working out all you can want, but it's not game time stuff. So. But,
there you go, Major League Minute. You just did it, didn't you?
No, but Garrett Cole signed with Toronto. So.
Oh, really? Yeah. I missed that one.
Garrett Cole signed with Toronto, so that shapes it up around there for that pitching crew. So.
You heard it right there. You're going to be getting that every week, and he may even have another tidbit to share here in a minute. But that's First Up Prosthetics own Danny the Limb and the Sports Web zone.
And Atlanta's making some moves too.
Hot Atlanta, man, they're still young and building. I like it. What a season they had, Danny.
They did.
Man, I tell you, we got Reed Sloan on tonight, Garrett. I mean, what a great kid. He reminds me of Christian McCaffrey.
Wow.
Man, he might be a little smaller than Christian McCaffrey, but he is just as shifty, to say the least, man.
He's very shifty. You got to see him in action, once for sure.
Yeah, once this season for sure. Greenwood against Warren East at Greenwood. And I think teams hated playing that Greenwood offense because it didn't matter what week it was. You were going to be chasing somebody all over the field, sideline to sideline. That's part of the reason they had such a great early season too.
Yeah, the thing about Greenwood is it's just an offense you don't see every week. And so, as they say about playing some of those teams that run those types of offenses, those read options and whatnot, especially the old school one like the veer, like they run over Greenwood, you can't practice against it. I mean, because if you don't run it, you can tell your players you got to watch this, you got to watch that, stay in your lanes and that kind of stuff. Don't chase the ball and that kind of thing, or if the fake. But hey, it's hard to do until you get out there and you're like, who has the ball again? And then dude's popping out the other side and running for 50 yards on you. You're like, that guy.
It's a keeper, it's a give, and I can't even see the ball.
The old Army veer, Army ran it.
Army veer.
He ran it forever. I mean, and it's hard. It's hard.
They still kind of run it triple option.
Actually,
that's
exactly.
It gets thrown in there from time to time.
For sure. It does. Thrown in there tonight, Vegas Frank going to be coming up. He's going to talk about the Hilltoppers and the Louisville game. Cannot find a spread on that, Garrett. I was going to ask you if you could find one, but
I'll see if
Garrett,
I can work
we
my
couldn't
magic.
find one earlier, so I'm not sure about what that spread is. But I still like the Tops to beat the Cards in that one, Danny. I don't know what.
Was I heard earlier. What was that spread? Oh, never. No, that was.
We could not find
That
it.
was the. I was thinking.
And I don't know
of,
why, but we could
I was
not
thinking
find
of
it.
the Ohio University one. They're going into somewhere with like a 26-point favorite.
Oh, yeah, that's not definitely. They're not that favorite.
A lot of the odds makers may be waiting to see exactly what happens through all these holiday tournaments. I'm not sure.
That's what me and Frank were thinking about that scenario. It's probably what it is.
But that game's tomorrow, isn't it?
No,
it's Friday.
Oh, it's Friday.
29th, this Friday night. Man, that's going to be a fun one. I wish I could be in attendance. I will not be around. It's Thanksgiving week for me, so I got to travel. But we're also going to hang out with Gary on the green, obviously, like we do every week. He's got this crazy thing about golf balls, the spin on them, the variation of what your club head speed is, and the ball really. Your club head speed doesn't determine your distance as much as I thought, Danny. I was kind of.
I hope it doesn't mind because
you be hitting those nitros,
dude. Mine's sure diminished over the years. But I played with Sam last weekend, and he's starting to really amaze me as far as how far
he's a college. He plays for Ole Miss. Why should you be amazed?
He hits the ball so far. I said, I walked one off. And I said, son, it was wet. We were playing. Car pass.
No roll.
No roll. 295.
Oh my God, he's crushing.
I went, dude, come on, really?
He is
it was
you
30,
and I could hit it 395 after we
30,
hit our driver twice.
30 to 35 past mine, and I hit driver, and so did he.
Well, I tell you what, for a young fella, you hit it pretty far too, Dan.
Yeah.
How do you measure yourself on a golf?
By height.
Oh man! All right, we got a few minutes before we go to break. Let's chat about. First of all, let's start with last night's Monday night game. Lamar Jackson, I mean, can he be stopped? And is he, in your opinion, guys, and everybody weigh in, is he better than one Mike Vick? I say yes.
Well, whenever he first came in the league, a lot of people talked about the fact that they were trying to compare him to Cam Newton and that kind of stuff. I always thought Michael Vick was a better comparison. The difference is Lamar Jackson is like Barry Sanders. He runs the same speed, left, right, back, and forward. And that was like Barry Sanders as a runner. The thing about him was he could change direction so quickly without losing any pace, and that's Lamar Jackson as a runner. The thing about Lamar Jackson, watching that game last night, he's reading the defenses now, and he's starting to make the right throws and the right decisions on when he runs, when he throws. And the only thing that he's lacking now is getting a little bit better with his ball rotation and that kind of stuff.
Right.
He's still got some ducks coming out of his hand. They're the right throws, but they're a little off in terms of accuracy that way.
They're floaters, but you know what? To me, he's just an average thrower.
Yeah.
Right now, he's an average thrower, but like you said, I mean, the Barry Sanders, excuse me, Slanders.
Yeah, Barry Sanders.
I was going to say slashing the way he does. I mean, he leaves guys. I mean, actually could break an ankle trying to catch him as far as the way he cuts. But he doesn't lose momentum doing it. But as far as a passer, I think he tried to showcase that a little bit more, but he needs to work on that a little bit more.
Yeah.
The guy is a stud. I mean, but, we'll see the test of time because you start running the ball that much, you're going to get hurt. I don't care what it is. Since you look at Mahomes, and that's what happened to him. I don't want to see it, but
yeah,
they catch up to it.
But that's kind of the amazing thing, going back to the Barry Sanders comparison, is Barry Sanders never got hit. And that's the thing about Lamar Jackson. When he runs, he usually doesn't get hit when he runs. His hardest hits are hit when he gets hit in the pocket.
Right, exactly. Barry Sanders, I mean, to me, a guy quit too early.
Yeah.
But you know what? He's probably the smartest out of everybody.
He's fine.
Just like the kid out of Minnesota, Smith, he quit at a very young age because he said, I wanted to keep my brains. But, Sanders, he could have blown that rushing record away, but he's just satisfied with what I did and did a good job. And guys probably feeling fairly good today. So.
Yeah.
What I think gets overlooked a lot in this whole Ravens conversation, I think Lamar's MVP, no doubt, is John Harbaugh, Greg Roman, Ozzie Newsome. I mean, people laughed at some of the decisions they were making in Ozzie Newsome's final draft of his career before he walked off into the sunset. I mean, it may be the greatest draft ever. He got the perfect offensive tackle for the offense they're going to run. He picked up 2 tight ends so they could run this full house, 3 tight ends, 2 running backs with a running quarterback set. And then you got John Harbaugh, who grew up in the Jack Harbaugh option system and said, you know what? This could work. And sure enough, they're dominating the NFL.
And you're leaving out those corners.
Oh, and their defense.
And they picked up Marcus Peters.
Oh, yeah.
Who I thought Los Angeles got rid of for a song.
Oh, my favorite part about last night was during the Ravens on offense, Marcus Peters didn't leave the side of John Harbaugh once. There wasn't any doubt Marcus Peters is sitting next to John Harbaugh. Cover one.
Just to
cover three.
Yep. And you know what they did? And their number one draft pick last year, the guy escapes my name, but that guy was a stud. He covered Cooks last night, and this guy didn't get a catch.
Humphrey.
Humphrey, yeah, exactly. He was their number one pick, and man, that guy's bad.
You know, one thing, there are a couple of things. John Harbaugh, I heard an interview where he's talking about they had the whole discussion in the war room about whether or not they were going to take Jackson. You know, and they had a pick. They could have taken him. They took somebody else. Then they traded back to get that last pick in the first round, and that's when they took him.
Oh.
And Harbaugh said when they were in the room and they were having a discussion about are we going to pick him or not, they said, okay, if we pick him, we know we've got to change everything about our organization on the field. You know, we've got to bring in players that go with him, and we've got to buy into doing what he does. And then the other thing about that is a lot of people talk about, well, who's going to be the next Lamar Jackson? The problem is there's never been another Barry Sanders. There will not be another Lamar Jackson. Just because it can be done with the group that they've done with in Baltimore doesn't mean anybody else can replicate this because Lamar Jackson is a special physical talent. He's a special mental talent. You look at how his teammates respond to him, and it was the same thing when he was at Louisville. As soon as he was gone out of Louisville, it all fell apart. It became evident Lamar Jackson got those guys motivated to play with him, and you can see this in Baltimore. If you had an incident like if you had with Myles Garrett there and somebody attacked Lamar Jackson,
oh gosh,
man, they would have to call the National Guard to get the Ravens off those people.
That would have been real ugly.
John Harbaugh would have joined him.
Exactly.
It'd have been full on.
You're absolutely right. What they'll try to do is emulate what Lamar Jackson's going to do, but it's not going to happen.
No.
I mean, they'll do it to limited success, but defensive coordinators catch on that quick. So.
Yeah, they will catch on. I'll tell you one other thing that impresses me is they brought in a running back, in Mark Ingram. That is just the perfect match.
Awesome pickup. Perfect pickup. I thought that was what a pickup for that. And I thought, why wouldn't the heck would he go to Baltimore? Well, I've seen it all year long, and it was a perfect pick. He doesn't have to. He's not really the workhorse there, but he's perfect for that scenario what they run there. So.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Before we do, though, a couple gift ideas for you out there. The LineX Hotline, those of you who listen to the show for many years, they've been the hotline there, their phone line we do all of our interviews on. You can get some great gift ideas out-of-the-box stuff for pops, for your kids, whatever. I mean, bed liners are great, especially if you got a nice truck like Danny the Limb does. You want a bed liner in that thing, even a bed cover, step-side row bars. They got all the LineX truck gear, all that stuff. So you want to check that out. Another gift idea, a new sponsor for this show, been a sponsor for a lot of other things, but they're sponsoring the Sports Web, and that's Poston Electronics. Danny, you can speak to that. You've been over there. You know Mike Cornelius,
lovely
great
people.
guy, man.
Great people.
I mean, listen, they've been doing it for years. Expanding, I hear, over there, so that's pretty cool. He needs the room.
We just take Jeremy's Camaro over there.
Yes, take whichever car. Jeremy's fleet of cars that he has. He's got some sweet ones. His Camaro being
Mike's
my favorite.
good egg. He's a real good egg.
Oh, he's the best. You want to check him out over there on Broadway, right across from Firestone. Been there for many years. Pretty much every stereo actually I've ever bought, aftermarket, has been put in by him. So don't go anywhere. You can check them out. We'll be right back. We'll have some more fun on the Sports Web, ESPN 102.7, 104 The Score.
How much were your heating costs last winter? I'm sure too much. Mike Keith here to tell you how to heat your home for just $600 a year. Trust the experts at Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill to transform your old fireplace into a stunning source of heat with brand names such as Yodel, Fireplace Extraordinaire, Avalon, and Lopi, the Cadillac of fireplaces. Lopi's Cape Cod is the world's cleanest burning wood stove with unbelievable hybrid fire technology. Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill, just off the bridge on Old Louisville Road. BowlingGreenFireplace.com.
Hi, this is Danny Hartung with First Step Prosthetics. Jeremy Harris and I would like to thank the people of Bowling Green and the surrounding areas for their support of the last 10 years. We are proud to announce that we have been celebrating over a decade of service to this community. We are going strong with the utmost care for our orthotic and prosthetic patients. We strive to provide the new and latest technology for the care of our patients and whatever their specific needs should be. Take the next step with us. Next Batteries Plus on the bypass, or visit us at firststepprosthetics.com.
The U.S. Army is offering up to $65,000 in student loan reimbursement as a new enlistment incentive. The program is available for nearly 50 different occupations, covering both full-time and part-time careers in the U.S. Army and Army Reserve. The total amount of loan reimbursement varies depending on the length of the individual's enlistment contract. For more information, talk to your local Army recruiter or check us out online at www.goarmy.com.
Man, that looks rough. That one got whacked good.
Yeah, I do know I'm getting sick of cleaning it up.
But it's all about the pay in the long run, right?
Yeah, you're right, but it'd be easier the quicker the boss would take us to Linex or Bowling Green.
Well, in the end, it's all about getting those hogs delivered, right?
You're right, but it sure is a mess. Forget about it.
Keep your bed easy to clean with Linex of Bowling Green, truck accessories, and more. Linex of Bowling Green on Louisville Road, Porter Pike intersection.
Thanks for coming on back with us in studio. Brian Webb here, Garret Browning, Danny the Limb, Hartung, First Up Prosthetics, and James Brown. I feel na-na-na-na-na-na. So good! So good!
Put your feet in the water.
He wasn't ready. He was not ready. He's got it. He's got it.
No, I inserted.
Get up! Get on up!
I had to find it.
Ow! Get on up! Oh, James Brown in the house.
Myself.
Loving it, baby. Loving it. Too hot for the hot tub. Ow! Anyways, we're gonna chat a little bit about this WKU rivalry with the 100 Miles of Hate here, MTSU, coming up. Listen, this team this year, is not quite the matchup that we're used to. They're usually fairly good, guys, but this MTSU team, not that great, a little down this year, and the Tops being definitely on an upgrade, especially with this defense. I see this being a lot of points, Garrett.
Look, I'll be honest, I didn't do any research into MTSU football, and why would I? Because I know that they're not good enough to keep up with the Toppers this weekend.
All right.
Man, have you seen this Hilltopper defense lately, Danny?
Yeah. Well, actually, I did.
It's pretty stand-up, man.
Hey, what was that Southern Miss final?
Oh, man, what was the final score end up being?
28-10, yeah.
28-10? I think I turned it off like 28-3.
34-17.
Did you see the Bear on
Oh, yeah.
Saturday morning?
Go against the Tops.
Go against the Tops.
Well, he obviously forgot to listen to me and Vegas Frank last week, so we definitely didn't go against the Tops, and we almost picked the score.
And that guy isn't very good.
He's like 500.
Yeah.
He's like dead 500.
You have to be 58% to be any good.
Yeah, 58-60%, right in there, man. You have to be talking.
Fat Jack
smack.
out of Vegas is right now 62%. That's the highest I've seen anybody this year.
Frank's around the 57 mark.
Is he? Well, it's pretty good. You make money.
Yeah, I don't gamble, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
I do the fake gambling on Action App Network.
Maybe the smartest thing you've ever said, Garrett.
Thanks, Darren Rovell. I'm actually
fake gambling.
I'm up plus 40 right now in fake dollars. Whoever needs some help. Yeah, lifetime. Last 2.5 months.
Started like 0-7 or something.
I did start 1-10 actually.
Maybe you should convert over to real gambling.
For entertainment purposes only.
We like to call it gaming.
Yeah, it is called wagering or gaming.
Gaming, yeah.
Whatever.
Without a joystick.
Garrett, who would you be fake gambling on for the Tops MTSU? I think we heard it right there.
Oh yeah, I just
go
love
ahead and pick Middle Tennessee so the Tops can win.
I've been on the opposite side of that. It was that way at first.
You converted it though over in the right direction.
I did finally convert it over
after the Arkansas game.
Dude, I got too much faith in this Hilltopper defense. They are solid up front. D'Angelo Malone, Madden. And then their linebacking core has kind of been underrated all season. Clay Davis kind of came out of nowhere, and he's the sideline-to-sideline linebacker. Devin Key. I mean, who doesn't love Devin Key on the back end? Kincaid has played really well. And then Ty Story he has taken over this offense. He is the offense. The offense runs through him, and I think every Hilltopper fan is just happy to see some consistency back at the quarterback
Story
spot.
never gets old, does it, Garrett?
I mean, that
Not
gets
the
old.
cliches.
Those puns get old. But no, Ty Story doesn't get old.
Somebody talk. I'm laughing. Oh, my gosh, that's great. Speaking of, we don't have a story, but we've got one Bassey. We're taking on these Cardinals, Garrett. Honestly, man, I really think the Tops are going to show up in this one big time. We're going to see the best we've seen out of them all season long.
Garrett's already called that one. I mean,
Yeah.
MTSU doesn't have a
We're
chance.
talking Louisville Cardinals now, Big D.
Wow.
He switched it over. It's hard to keep up with the segues, Danny.
I
Trust me.
suppose.
You should.
Non-sequitur.
Skip me
It
out
needs
of
to be
here.
on a swivel. Staying tops. I mean,
I don't know if you've watched a lot of Louisville this season, but man, Louisville looks really good
who
so
they
far.
played, though?
Well, that's also a great point. They struggled with Akron the other day, but there's a reason they have one of the preseason player of the years, Jordan Nwora, and I love Chris Mack. He's just a great basketball coach. It's going to be a dogfight in Nashville. Stansbury, his teams have a weird way. It's kind of similar to Ray Harper. They play down to some teams, but I guarantee if it's a big game, those guys are going to play up to the competition. So it's going to be a good game. I believe that.
You coming down, G?
I will not be. I will be sitting here in studio to make sure that nothing goes off the air because the Lady Tops also play, I believe, at 2 o'clock that day, and the men play at 4 o'clock. Yeah, the Lady Tops are at Tulsa, 2 o'clock that same Friday.
You know, the thing about this matchup with Louisville is you're right. The Tops over the last few years have played down to certain competition. They've lost games a la last Friday that you're like, how did they manage to mess around and lose that? But at the same time, they've gone out there and won some games, and you're like, that's the thing. They keep you on your toes because they win games, and you're like, okay, they shouldn't have won that game.
Yep. And going back to that game on Friday, I saw a lot of fans were really upset after that Bowling Green loss. Well, Bowling Green went and beat Cincinnati the next night and actually advanced to the championship of that tournament.
We were pretty much in it always.
Yeah, and the toppers.
It was the 5-point lead part with enough time left that you should be able to close that out.
Well, the killing part was the 1 point in the final 5 minutes of regulation to lose by 2. That is a killer, but just I think I saw a lot of people on social media just like, oh, same stuff. It's like, dude, we're in November. Like,
they said the same thing about Hilltopper football, and look at us now.
It's a great point. I mean, it's so true. It's early in the year still. I know basketball, we played like 10 games. Some people have played like close to 10 games already.
Yeah.
But you play 25 more.
Yeah, and you're right. Bowling Green's a good team. It's like I said, the loss to Bowling Green itself is not necessarily the issue. The loss is, you're up 75-70.
The way you lost.
And you can't manage to figure out how to get, not turn the ball over, get some free throws. But one of the problems is we still don't really have a point guard at the BKU waiting on the NCAA to show up and say, hey, Kenny Cooper can play.
It'd be nice if we could take him around with us.
I guess they have just their entire compliance department working on James Wiseman and Chase Young the last month. So I'm glad that both of those are out of the way. I'm sure they'll find somebody else to suspend in the next week and a half, so it'll take even longer.
Beep, 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 beep. No, their segue switch. Beep, beep, beep. Finishing up the Major League Minute with Danny the Limb Hartung.
Wow. Nice segue.
Nice segue.
Knock it out, man. We're going to go to break.
No, it's just, it's free agency weekend, or year end, excuse me. Like I said, Garrett Cole signed with Toronto. Darno left the Rays.
Yep.
Went to the evil Atlanta Braves. But, the Braves, you better watch out for them. They're building, man. And you know what? They're not having to pay a lot of money for their people either, so. But
I think the Reds will be rolling into town in, about a week and a half, and the Red Legs will be back on the air.
Caravan in a week and a half?
I think that's
is
what it
that
is.
right already? Is that up to...
Yeah,
I want to see if I can...
I think it's the first weekend in December or second weekend in December.
I'm pretty sure that their intro to Red Legs Fest, the Red Legs radio guys, they always do a special show before the Red Legs Fest and give away some tickets. I'm pretty sure it's this coming Monday.
Is that right?
Out of Thanksgiving. They're going to come.
Not them all.
I believe it's going to be coming out of Sportsline. They're going to do their Red Fest, and it's up at
Okay, so the Reds Fest, and then a couple of weeks after that is when the Caravan, because it's usually in December.
Isn't the Caravan out at the mall, though?
Oh, okay. I must have misunderstood. I
know it is because it's usually 4th region basketball.
Yeah,
that's going on.
If you want to know what we don't know about the Reds, at Red Legs Radio Report.
There you go.
I'll call Jason
up.
Well, I apologize to Jason. I'm butchering his tweets.
I did too, probably.
Deleted James Brown tweets. Also, James Brown, follow 104 The Score, new Twitter page. He just got up, so get that followed. Danny, you're on Twitter at Danny Metalhead, but I never see you do anything.
I have a job.
You don't have time for that. You have a real job.
Dude, I got a job, man.
Oh, man. G-Man, thank you, buddy. You follow G-Man because he's going to be back on the basketball trail with the Raiders, and good luck on that season, dude.
Man, December 3rd, our first doubleheader at Metcalfe County.
Sweet. Doubleheader time. Basketball's here, folks. Sports Web is going to take a break and come back with Vegas Frank, Reed Sloan, Greenwood Gator running back, and thanks to Oak Tree Awards for that awesome plaque. And then we'll get some golf tips from Gary on the green. Danny?
We're out.
1027.
Hello, Vegas. Give me $100 on red.
Go! $200 in chips, please.
Are you a professional?
That's your bet, sir.
Bet.
Hit me.
It's a bust.
Whoa! I am on fire.
Oh, he's good. He's good.
You're a winner!
Against the Odds with Vegas Frank is brought to you by JBK Network Consulting. JBK Network Consulting. We are IP everything. Working with complex organizations to achieve measurable business outcomes is what we do. Let Jim Grant and JBK Network Consulting go to work for you. Call 270-796-8935. Visit JBK Network Consulting at 1143 Fairway Place, Suite 105, and online at jbk.net.
Welcome back to the show. It's called the Sports Web, and its feature every week is a guy from Las Vegas, Nevada. He's right there off the Strip. His name is Vegas Frank, and it's called Against the Odds. What's going on, man?
I'm doing good. About yourself?
I'm doing really good. It's Thanksgiving week, man. Happy Thanksgiving to all the listeners out there. We're talking to Frank on the Line-X hotline all the way from Nevada, Las Vegas. Man, I tell you what, this time of year the sports books are pandemonium.
They are. This time of year, everybody's sort of locking in as far as the NFL season beginning to wind down. You got playoff teams kind of shoring themselves up. College football season basically has a week left. Rivalry week, I guess is the way you describe it for this weekend coming up.
Yeah.
It'll be rivalry week around the Thanksgiving table with a lot of families. That should be fun. But with families, don't bring up any politics.
No,
we don't want that.
No.
But yeah, it's a fun time of year. We get to see like these tournaments. Get to see kids play basketball in Hawaii and Jamaica and all these places. That's always fun while everybody else is freezing.
Yeah, and Tops did okay on their little venture, and we're gonna start with the NFL, but we'll make our way to some Tops football. MTSU coming in, our final home game, big rivalry. We should destroy them, but that team's gonna play. It'd be their Super Bowl this year. Try to beat us. They love beating us, especially at home. But we'll give a prediction on that real quick, and you'll find a line on that MTSU game if available, Frank. But let's start with the NFL, man. Lamar Jackson continues to absolutely blaze a scene, man. This guy, they compare him to Vic. He's way better than Mike Vick, man.
Well, Mike Vick was actually in attendance last night.
I saw that
game. Yeah, the Ravens are special. Lamar Jackson is special. They put something in perspective for you. With their first 6 drives last night, they scored 6 touchdowns. The Washington Redskins, since week 4, have had 90 offensive drives. They've scored 5 touchdowns.
Puts it in perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just you're able to execute. Lamar Jackson, he kind of put it perfectly last night in the post game. They want to crown him MVP, and he said he's not concerned about MVP. He wants a Super Bowl.
Yes.
So he's not concerned about that stuff. This is a team that still has a lot of room to grow. There's going to be a lot more football to be played in the next few weeks. But right now, Ravens are looking tough.
Man, here's the thing. I believe he's going to get one. I don't know who can beat him, Frank. I mean, with Melvin, when you've got a guy like Mark Ingram that can just force himself on you, and you've got all these weapons at tight end, and you've got a quarterback that can tuck it and get 30 yards at will. I don't know how you stop that, man. I don't care how good your defense is. I don't care how much you prepare. You can't prepare for Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
Well, the game plan kind of goes out the window because He's a guy that can make plays from the pocket, and he also has he had almost 100 yards rushing last night. The Rams have watched film on him all year, so you're not able to make those type of adjustments. I mean, they have a quarterback in their division that's a pretty mobile quarterback in Russell Wilson. Kid in Arizona, Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
I mean, they have similar play style.
Yeah.
That you have like that sort of practice for those kind of schemes, but there's no way to prepare for Lamar Jackson.
There's not, and I believe right now, I really do believe, just from what I've seen, and I'm so sick of this Garoppolo. We need to see what kind of quarterback Garoppolo. He's like 17 or 18-3. I mean, what do you need? What else do you need to see from Garoppolo? I mean, seriously.
I don't need to see much else. The only thing I was always concerned about was health, just keeping him upright. As long as they can keep people off
true.
But that's the issue with any quarterback.
It is.
You have to keep them upright. You want to make sure that your guy's not getting hit. Tom Brady's not going to be effective if he's getting hit all the time.
No.
And that goes for any quarterback. So.
Man, I can't believe the Dallas Cowboys didn't win that game.
I got a stat that you're not going to like.
Lay it on me.
I tell you.
Lay it on me.
They played 4 games that have been decided by 4 points or less, and they've lost all 4.
Oh, man.
They have 9 players, skill position players, that are ranked to top 5 or higher. That's got to be coaching.
I mean, there's no question it's coaching. And when we get later in the season, there's no way we're going to be able to, if we run into the, I haven't got the regular season schedule in front of me, but if we run into the Saints or the Niners or, I mean, heck, even the Packers or the Vikings are going to give us a headache. We need to get rid of him after this Thanksgiving game, especially if we lose that game and Jerry Jones doesn't fire him. I don't know what. I'm going to have to find a new team.
Well, you have the extra time off, too. We kind of spoke about it off air that they're not going to make a coaching change in the short week, but you could absolutely make the change because it's sort of like a built-in bye week because now you'll have like a week and a half of time off before you play the next game, in order to put in like a new game plan. Yeah. If they're going to make a change. Otherwise, I think Garrett's your coach for the duration, and obviously he'll get fired in the offseason.
Please, and if he doesn't, I'm just going all Titans next year. I don't care. I'm going to distance myself from the Dallas Cowboys if Jerry Jones doesn't make up his mind and fix this problem because we've got a team that should easily have a bid at a Super Bowl this year. It's ridiculous, man. Great defense that they've not been playing good. The whole team just I don't know if they're engaged. I don't know. Let's move on from the Dallas Cowboys. I don't care. Let's talk a little bit about here's my Super Bowl. Right now, if I had to pick it, Frank, I'm probably going to go with, I'm going to go with Ravens facing the San Francisco 49ers, man. I don't know if that's probably what it's going to be.
I like that matchup. Actually, we're going to get that matchup this Sunday. They're going to be playing this weekend. So we get a little preview of
mini
what
Super
could
Bowl.
be the Super Bowl. Oh, that would be great.
It's a little mini Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I think that the matchup would be great. And we get to see it. We get a preview for the holiday weekend here. The style, they say styles make fights and styles make games. You see the way the Niners defense is played, and they seem to get a little more confident every week that goes by.
They do.
And to play against a quarterback like that with Lamar Jackson, it would be fun. That would be really fun.
It's going to be great. It'll remind us a little bit maybe of the Chiefs-Ravens game last year. You remember that was so crazy? And we'll see what happens, man. Let's move on. You're listening to Vegas Frank Against the Odds here on the Sports Web, brought to you by JBK Network Consulting. You're listening to him on the Linex hotline. Linex Bedliners, Roger Gina, Louisville Road, Porter Pike, all phone interviews via the Linex hotline of bowling. Hey, man, we're going to turn it to the second half here. Talk a little bit about the Hilltoppers band taking on the Cards. I'm excited about this one. I would like to see my Hilltoppers gelled a little more by now, but it's looking okay. It's a work in progress. Stansbury doing a great job, man. We got some awesome young talent. Like I was talking to you about Jordan Rawls getting Conference USA Freshman of the Week award, which is pretty awesome. D'Angelo Malone picking up, I think he got the defensive player of the week. So that's pretty good stuff. But, man, we got a guy like Charles Bassey, 11 blocks. I mean, and he's probably could have had a few more. Cameron Justice added a lot. Carson Williams, man, he's like it's unbelievable. These guys. He's like a JJ reborn there. Hollinsworth doing his thing. Savage got 8 blocks on the season, averaging about 10 points a game. Good for him. Josh Anderson, man, I could go on and on about these guys. But Jordan Rawls, man, wow. what a player, what a freshman. How are we going to pair up with this Cardinals team, Frank?
Well, this is really the first test that Louisville's going to have the all season. Western is ranking a lot of statistically, they're ranking up there with a lot of the nationally ranked teams. I mean, you're talking about a team that's top 7 in points scored. You're talking about a team that's ranking in the 20s as far as points per game. Free throws made, they're in the 20s, ranked nationally. So this is going to be a team, they've got to cut down on turnovers. That's the biggest thing. You gotta eliminate turnovers. That's going to be a challenge against a team of Louisville. They seem very opportunistic of turning turnovers into points. They're going to have to play balance, keep within their head, rely on these guys like Hollingsworth and Bassey. Anderson too. He's been playing really well. So they've got to be patient. This is going to be a good early test for them.
Yeah, it is. And I feel like they go in there with a good enough scripted game plan to start the game and really work through some things and find out who they need to pressure on that Cards team, who's got the hot hand, and they cover them up and just try to eke their way through this one and get down to that where you're inside 6 points there in the late in the game, and you got a chance to win. That's all I want to see. I mean, I want it to be a close game. I know Louisville's good, but I really think these tops match up fairly well. I don't know if there's a line on that one, Frank, but if you don't mind, you could check real quick for us. I know you usually have that stuff readily available, but I'm going to give an MTSU versus the tops here pick real quick while you're trying to find that. I'm going to go Hilltoppers are going to go off in this one, defensively and offensively. I think Lucky Jackson's going to have a game in this one with a pair of touchdowns and maybe even a defensive score in this one, Frank. So I'm going to go Tops 38, MTSU. Getting on the board, but not big. Maybe even a blocked extra point or something. So I'm thinking some weird score like 38-10, 38-14, something like that.
I think right along those lines. I tend to agree with you. I think that this is like their Super Bowl type of thing for MTSU. So I would say it's a double-digit win. I'd say they win somewhere in that 14 to 17-point range, but I'd say like a 34-17 kind of thing, or a 31-14 kind of thing. The Tops are going to establish themselves, I think, early. Defense has been playing really well. And then you get to see where you'll be playing bowl-wise. Yeah, so that's fun.
That's a good. What are you thinking for us? I mean, are you thinking we're gonna? I feel like we're gonna get. We go 8-4. I feel like we're gonna get a really good bowl bid because we've got a couple of good marquee wins there. And if we could get back that one loss at home, I think it was FAU. If we could get that back, I mean, we'd be sitting pretty right now. I'd love to have that Marshall game back, but I feel good about it, man. I really, really do. I think we're gonna do just fine in both football and basketball, baby. I'm excited about the Hilltoppers, Frank.
No, it's an exciting time right now. Fun time to be a fan. I tell you what, I'm not excited to be a Rebel fan right now.
Well, I mean, what can they do to fix that?
I don't know. Completely start over? No, they've got to change the recruiting. They'll be playing in the new stadium where the Raiders play. As far as the football team goes,
that's cool.
They'll be playing in the new stadium, so that's going to be a big recruiting tool. They're going to be bringing in a Pac-12 team. There's a rumor that they're going to be starting the season against Cal next year. They're going to open the season against Cal. Try to front load that schedule a little bit and use that as sort of like a recruiting thing for some of these local kids. A lot of the kids that play in high school here that are, worth their salt end up going somewhere else to play. They don't stay in town. So
man,
that's the hard thing.
That is. And, man, I'm trying to find that line on that, and I have found it, I believe.
Yeah, you did?
No, I didn't. I thought I did.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't find it either.
Looks like, they won't give it to us. I'm sure it'll be out closer to the week. We'll tweet that out. Frank, we're going to finish up today with a little Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, coming up in 2 weeks. It actually coincides with the last night of the rodeo that's going to be going on. You remember the rodeo.
Do I remember the rodeo? If we had time, I'd tell you a couple of funny stories about the rodeo. But, man, big time. I mean, Vegas fills up with some cowboys, don't it?
Oh, big time. Basically starting this weekend, they'll be in town. 100,000 people plus will be in town for all these different NFR events. That last night of the rodeo will actually be the night that they'll have the next UFC pay-per-view here in town over there, T-Mobile.
Wow.
We're going to have not one, not two, but 3 title fights that night. Max Holloway will be defending, as well. Kamaru Usman, Covington will be fighting as well. Amanda Nunes will be fighting Jermaine Randamie.
Oh, that'd be good.
Same night. So we've got 3 title fights. I mean, Christmas come early.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Really looking forward to it. We'll break down a little more UFC, next Tuesday, probably get a little more into those matchups.
Yeah,
but
sounds good.
We're really looking forward to those fights.
All right, folks, we're going to drum roll it. I want to get your pick, Vegas, final score in the Louisville WKU Hilltopper matchup and Nashville at Bridgestone Arena.
Well, I think it helps the fact that we're playing not a true road game, so they'll travel pretty well. A lot of people like to make a weekend out of it and head over there to Nashville and watch this game. I think that the tops are going to be playing well. It's going to be fun. I'm going to say that this is a close game. I'm going to say the Tops win 74-70.
Wow. Dude, that's so funny that you say that. My final was going to be a Tops victory from Bridgestone Arena, Nashville, Tennessee, 71-70 in a friggin' well, I don't know if I can say that. I'm going to have to bleep that out. In a crazy one. All right, let's just say it's going to be crazy. Bassey will become his own in this one.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think that they've been kind of waiting for a game like this to kind of showcase their skill, so it's going to be fun.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you so much. Vegas Frank, everybody, every Tuesday right here, brought to you by JBK Network Consulting. Appreciate you, man.
Good talking to you. Happy Thanksgiving.
We'll be right back. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Gobble, gobble. ESPN 102.7, 104 The Score.
You're playing golf, and you're going to like it.
Time to go home there, ball. I can make it across. Well, then do it.
We got all of that.
Why didn't you just go home? That's your home. Are you too good for your home? Answer me.
Knock it on. Let her rip.
It's in the hole. By the way, what did Mr. Webb shoot this morning?
It's time for Gary on the Green. Gary on the Green is brought to you by Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill on Old Louisville Road and online at bowlinggreenfireplace.com. Call 270-495-1131.
You heard it right there. It's time for Gary on the Green on the Line X Hotline. I've got Coach Adam Gary, WKU Lady Hilltopper Golf. What's going on, man?
Not much. Just enjoying a little off season right now and getting ready for some turkey.
Happy holidays. I can't wait, man. I'm going to be eating some turkey myself, watching some foosball. But we got some WKU Hilltopper sports coming up, man. Got MTSU coming in this weekend. Then we got the Cards on 29th, man. I don't know. Let's start with that game. Basketball, Bassey, Anderson. These guys, I think they're going to beat these undefeated Cardinals.
I think so, too. I'd love to see it. Obviously, that's going to be a big matchup down in Nashville. Hopefully, we'll have lots of fans down there. But they finished 4th down in the Virgin Islands this week, so I think they've definitely got off to a slow start, but they built some momentum, and I know that they learned from a few of those games. So we should be kind of working the bugs out and ready to take on the Cards on Friday.
I like 71-7 Tops.
I like it. I was going to say, probably in that 80-75 range, but
nice.
That was,
I like yours even better.
Let's get some points on the board, right?
Let's put 80 up. Yeah, they can do it, man. They got the squad that can do it. I love these new guys we've got interjected. But we'll get to some golf tips here in a minute. Let's talk real quick though. MTSU, big rivalry coming in. They're not that good, Adam, but they're going to play their guts out when they're playing the Tops.
Absolutely. In any rivalry game, you're going to get their best. So I know that we're the favorite in the game, but obviously Coach Helton will get them coached up, and they'll be ready to go. And man, what a great job he's done this year! It's been unbelievable.
He really has, and just as good a guy as a football coach. He's great in both categories. I like us destroying MTSU in this one. No mercy game. Close out a great season on the Hill, 8-4. I like the Tops in this one, like 38-10.
I love it. Yeah, I'm with you. I would love that.
Yeah, baby, get on the bus.
Let's throw some more than 38 on there. Let's get some points on the board.
That's true. Don't be coy, Roy. Well, man, I'll tell you, golf tips is what we're famous for here, Adam Gary, and nobody does it better than you. But we had a little tip, but we scratched it because we want to go with something that you've been dealing with. You've been looking at data on golf balls, and what did you find in your research?
Yeah, so our new indoor facility and our launch monitors, so we've got all of our technology kind of set up, and we've been learning and training on it some and practicing with the team this last week in our last few practices, and doing some golf ball fittings has been pretty eye-opening to me, and I'm kind of guilty of it too. You just kind of fall in the rut of playing the same golf ball that you've always used forever. And then some of the research with My Golf Spy, they did an unbelievable job of testing out every golf ball on the market that I know of or I'm aware of. If you want to look up their data, I mean, they tested at 115 mile an hour club head speed, 85 mile an hour, and a lot of the data that came back said that compression for swing speed might not matter, that the softer balls were shorter golf balls with every swing speed. So it didn't matter if you swung slower, that it didn't necessarily mean that it was going to go farther. So interesting spin numbers and things too. So like, I mean, for example, Mary Joyner, kind of like myself, real low spin player in the Pro V1. She's always used a Pro V1, but it used to spin a little bit more, but her spin numbers have been really low, and that's kind of affected the long irons because obviously they're not having enough launch and spin to hold the green coming in, so she's tended to play her best at courses that are a little shorter where she can hit her wedges into the green. So, and I even saw a huge jump myself going from testing some different types of golf balls. Bridgestone has a golf ball that came out the highest on the spin rate numbers, and just testing it out myself from a regular Pro V to the Bridgestone ball, I picked up 1,200 RPMs with my pitching wedge. So I think it's maybe important to fit the ball for your irons first and then fit the driver. I think a lot of people do it the opposite. They want to hit the driver far and just see which golf ball they're hitting the farthest instead of maybe looking at, hey, am I going to be efficient with my irons with this ball? Let me get my iron numbers and spin rates good, and then I can adjust drivers a lot easier than I can adjust irons.
Yeah, I've seen those guys in the scrambles hit their nitro off the tee and then throw a Pro V1X down there for their approach. I don't know that that's fair. I guess anything's fair in a scramble.
That's right. And honestly, I don't even know if that's good advice. I mean, I don't know that those.
I don't think that even helps you.
Balls were even. Yeah, they didn't even really test out that they were going farther.
That's crazy, man.
It's all about getting the launch and the spin numbers right, and those. I mean, that's why they're expensive. But those premium golf balls just had faster ball speeds. So.
There goes the extra.
Range ball costs like 50 cents, I guess, too.
There you go. And that sums it up right there. You can definitely tell in the pricing, But I tell you, I think that's awesome data. And you said the Bridgestone, though. So a guy's not going to go wrong with the Bridgestone then, right?
Well, I mean, I guess it just depends. For someone like myself who kind of is a low-spin player, now if somebody's a high-spin player, the Pro V1, the regular Pro V1 might be a great golf ball.
Man, that's
but I
crazy.
think that's where you just need to get tested, get to a PGA Pro or get to a place or a facility that's got a launch monitor and just dive in, because there's no right ball for everyone. But I think across the board, I think it might be a little bit of a myth with the compression. A lot of people think they need a softer ball because they swing slower, or they need, like you said, a nitro because they want distance. And it's like, well, that might not be it. There's just so much advertising and marketing with golf. I think you got to be really careful on what's actually happening.
Adam, Sherlock Holmes, Gary, Coach, thank you for a great tip on this data that you research. And, man, we appreciate it. I'll see you next Tuesday, and we'll find out how your Thanksgiving was and how these Hilltoppers did.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Don't go anywhere. Thank you. Or actually, we're going to close it up with Adam Gary today. Thanks for listening to Sports Webb, ESPN 102.7.